there's something strange that most people never realize. Your body isn't just tired because of work. It isn't just exhausted from lack of sleep, and sometimes it's not even sick in a way doctors can clearly see. Some kinds of pain begin with long-term stress, with a mind that has never truly been quiet, with the feeling of constantly carrying something invisible for years. You still live your normal life. You still go to work. You still laugh and talk. You still eat and function like everyone else. But deep inside, your body is silently asking for help. Insomnia, constant exhaustion for no clear reason, a racing heart even when nothing is wrong, a mind that never stops thinking, and the feeling that your energy is slowly draining away. The frightening part is that most people simply try to push through it. They tell themselves, maybe this is just what adulthood feels like. But in many ancient Buddhist traditions, people believed that illness does not begin in the body. It begins with a disconnection within, in the breath, in a mind that is constantly tense, in the way human beings forget how to truly be present with themselves. And that is why the monks who live deep within the forests do not heal in the modern way. They have no hospitals, no supplements, no machines. Yet strangely, many of them still live with an extraordinary sense of inner peace. They believe the body has a far greater ability to heal itself than most people realize. It's just that the modern world has made us unable to hear it anymore. There is an ancient ritual that was once passed down among meditation monks in the forests of Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar. An incredibly simple ritual. No money required, no equipment, no special knowledge. Just 5 minutes of complete silence. It sounds almost too simple to be real, doesn't it? But that is exactly what surprises so many people. Because sometimes, what heals the body is not adding more. It is stopping the tension, stopping the resistance, stopping the brain from running like a machine that never shuts down. The monks call this state the moment the body begins to listen again. And according to them, that is when true healing actually begins. What makes this ritual so unique is that it does not focus on trying to cure the body. It focuses on guiding the body back into a state of safety. Because when a person lives under stress for too long, the brain begins to believe that you are constantly in danger. And when that happens, the body starts prioritizing survival instead of healing. Sleep becomes lighter, digestion becomes weaker, the immune system becomes less effective, and the mind stays constantly alert. In other words, the body never truly gets to rest. But the monks believe that just a few minutes of proper breathing can send a signal to the nervous system saying, "You are safe now." And when that feeling of safety returns, the body begins to do what it already knew how to do from the very beginning: heal itself. If you've ever felt like your mind has never truly been at peace, or like your body is constantly exhausted for reasons you can't explain, comment the number 1 below. Because in the next part, you'll discover how this 5-minute ritual actually works. There is something many people only begin to realize after practicing silence every day. The human body is actually always speaking to us. But modern life has become too noisy for us to hear it. That is why the final part of this ancient ritual does not focus on thoughts, it focuses on feeling. After the breath slows down, after the body begins to soften, the monks perform the final step. They place one hand over the heart and the other over the stomach. Then they remain completely still in silence. No loud prayers, no complicated chants, just gentle breathing and the feeling of the heartbeat within. It sounds almost too simple, but according to the forest monks, this is the most important moment of all. Because most modern people lost their connection with their own bodies a very long time ago. They spend too much of their lives trapped inside their minds, always thinking, always worrying, always analyzing, always preparing for the next terrible thing that might happen. Even while sitting still, the brain never truly rests. And according to many ancient meditation traditions, a body that never feels safe can never fully heal. That is why the monks call this ritual a reminder that you are still alive, not just existing. not just surviving each day, but truly living. When your hand rests on your chest, you begin to notice the heartbeat you usually ignore. And when your hand rests on your stomach, you realize that your breath has been quietly keeping you alive every single second. And in those few short minutes, many people feel, for the first time, that their body is no longer fighting. Some describe it as a warmth spreading through their chest. Others say their mind suddenly becomes quieter than usual. Some even begin to cry, without fully understanding why. The monks believe this happens because the body is finally being allowed to relax, because many emotions do not disappear simply because you ignore them. They stay inside the body, in shoulders that are always tense, in sleepless nights, in the feeling of exhaustion even when you haven't done anything physically demanding. And the saddest part is that many people have lived this way for so long that they begin to believe it is normal. But according to ancient healing traditions, the human body was never designed to live in a constant state of anxiety. It was created to heal. That is why, after completing this ritual, the monks usually remain silent for a few more moments. They do not immediately check their phones. They do not immediately start talking. They simply sit still, allowing the body to fully feel the peace that has just appeared. It sounds simple, but in today's world, that has become incredibly difficult. Modern people are afraid of silence, because when everything finally becomes quiet, the emotions that have been buried deep inside begin to surface. Loneliness, fear, the mental exhaustion we constantly try to cover up with work, short videos, music, or social media. But the monks say, the thing you keep running from the most is often the thing that needs healing the most. And that is why this ritual does not try to make you strong overnight. It simply helps you return to yourself, little by little. 5 minutes, no more than that. Because according to them, 5 minutes is short enough that the mind does not have time to resist. Short enough that you cannot easily say, I'll do it tomorrow instead. Yet still long enough for the body to feel the difference. After a few days of practicing, many people begin to notice very small changes, falling asleep more easily, feeling less irritated, waking up with a lighter body in the morning, and a mind that feels less chaotic, not because of magic, but because for the first time in a very long while, their nervous system is finally getting real rest. And what is interesting is that the monks never say, you must believe completely. They simply say, try it for 7 days, at the same time every day, in the same quiet space, without expecting too much. Just observe your body, because sometimes healing does not arrive like a dramatic explosion. It arrives very gently, so gently that if you live too fast, you may never notice it. Maybe it is the first night you finally sleep a little deeper. Maybe it is the first time in months that your mind becomes quiet for a few minutes. Or maybe it is simply the feeling of, finally, I can breathe again. And, strangely enough, in a world where everyone is constantly searching for something stronger, faster, and more modern, an ancient ritual made of nothing more than breath, silence, and a few moments of presence has brought more peace to many people than anything else. If you want to try this ritual over the next 7 days, then comment, I start today. Let's see how many people today decide to give their body a real chance to rest. And if you enjoy videos exploring healing, the mind, and ancient Buddhist wisdom, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because in the next video, we'll explore why the quieter a person becomes, the more powerful they truly are. Perhaps the saddest thing about modern people is not that we are too weak. It's that we have lived under stress for so long that we have forgotten what real peace even feels like. Many people wake up every morning with a heavy body, their mind already exhausted before the day has even begun, and they think that is adulthood, that it is simply normal life. But the ancient monks believed something different. They said, when a person can no longer feel peace within, the body will begin to speak in other ways. Sometimes through insomnia, sometimes through anxiety, and sometimes through a strange emptiness that is difficult to explain. And strangely enough, the more people try to run from that feeling, the more exhausted they often become. That is why this 5-minute ritual has existed for hundreds of years, not to make people perfect, but to remind them of something very simple. The body is not a machine designed only to endure. It is a living part of you that is trying to protect you every single day. Your heart is still beating, your lungs are still breathing, and your nervous system is quietly working millions of times each second just to keep you alive. And perhaps the very least we can do for ourselves is spend a few moments truly listening to it. No phone, no noise, no pressure to become someone else, just a few moments of presence. Many people who tried this ritual ended up saying something very similar. They did not feel a miracle, but they felt lighter, as if something inside them had finally been released. And honestly, that may be exactly what the body needs most. Not more artificial energy, not forcing yourself to become stronger. Just observe. Observe the way you sleep. Observe your mood each morning. Observe whether your mind feels a little less chaotic, because sometimes the most important changes happen very quietly, quietly like the sunrise, quietly like the growth of a tree. But over time, you begin to realize that you are no longer the same person you once were. And if you've watched all the way to this point, perhaps some part of you is also searching for peace. So comment below. 7 days. I begin today. Let's see how many people today decide to give themselves a chance to heal, not through pressure, but through presence. And if you enjoy stories about Buddhist wisdom, healing the mind, and inner peace, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because in the next video, we'll explore a subject that many people experience without ever realizing it: why your mind never truly rests, even when you're alone.